You know, I thought that was for me. I was like, yeah. That was it for me or no? I thought that was for me. Well, whatever. Oh, thank you. There it is. There it is. Good. Here we go. Did you boo me, Rob? Is that what you said? Yeah, it's not cool, man. That's not cool. Not the first time, though. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you for coming to Connecticut Horror Fest this weekend. We really appreciate you. Hope you've been having a great time. Without further ado, since we are a couple minutes late, let's get this thing started. Who's ready to talk some Terrifier? Awesome, awesome. So let us welcome to the stage, please, David Howard Thornton, Lauren Lavera, Elliot Fullam, Samantha Scaffidi. Big round of applause, guys. I told everybody I'm very professional. I set up the waters and everything. I don't play around. I don't play around.
Thank you so much.
Guys, welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh,
Bless
boy,
you.
that's great timing.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect.
'Tis the season for the sneezing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So the way I'm going to run this, guys, listen, I know you guys probably have a ton of questions. You guys have questions, right? I'm going to ask a few. I'll start this thing off. Get these guys talking. We'll butter them up a little bit. And then I'll kick it to the audience. You guys can ask your questions. Cool? Sound good?
Yes.
Rock and roll. Thanks so much. I'm going to start with a question for Samantha.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was making
you
a bad joke.
Well, you told me later. You told me earlier. You're like, I hope you have some good questions for me.
Oh, yeah, please.
So I was like, well, let's start with you.
Loud.
So Victoria's mutilation scene in the original Terrifier is incredibly intense. How do you prepare for something like that? How do you prepare for that experience?
Well, in Terrifier, I was a lot younger, so I took acting very seriously. As I've gotten older, it's not that no. So I don't think I was very prepared for Terrifier or the franchise. I definitely, when I read the script, was very concerned, and I didn't think that anyone was going to see it. And since I had nothing else to do, I was like, whatever, I'll just do this thing. But I prepared, and I really took Victoria Hayes' story seriously. I have two older brothers, trying to put myself in the position of what it would be like to, something like this to happen. Of course, as a young person, my imagination's running wild. I'm scared of everything. Cover my eyes all the time when I'm watching these movies. But I went in really, really serious. But on the day of shooting, David was... Well, later on when we were shooting the eating scene, when he's eating my face, is literally hovering over me and breathing, and it was really hard to stay in character, of course. And it was a lot of moments like that kind of cut out the tension of being a young actress and being very serious, and then having a really beautiful time. But yeah.
Thank you. This one for Elliot. As a young actor, what was it like working with David in costume, especially in the really disturbing scenes?
I loved Terrifier before I even auditioned for Terrifier 2, so I was kind of just nerding out the entire time. Especially, oh my God, in between takes, he is so good at just turning on and just turning off. So right when you hear cut, he is just the sweetest person ever. So, and he's wearing the makeup and everything. Are you okay? Is everything okay? So, I wasn't too scared or anything, but when it's time to be scared, when he is Art the Clown, that's when it's not hard to act scared.
Awesome. Thanks, Elliot. Lauren, Sienna is obviously a very complex character. Her vulnerability, her strength. How do you approach portraying her emotional journey?
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a big question. It depends on the scene, I guess. For Terrifier 3, I did a lot of research on people that are suffering from survivor's guilt, PTSD. I called a few mental health institutes in New York. They did not want anything to do with me. I was just like, and I lied. I was like, oh, I'm a college student. I'm writing a paper. And they were just like, we don't fucking care. So I just was trying to do my own research. I watched some YouTube is such a wonderful resource for actors. Like, it's the best time to be alive to be an actor. You don't need to go to a library anymore. I'm really dating myself. And like, you can just like watch YouTube and listen to people and listen to their journey. And I was really inspired by a lot of people. But of course, you just really have to try to use your imagination and put yourself in that person's shoes. And I guess it was easier the second time around. I did all of my journaling and stuff. I'm very methodical, similarly to Sam. For Terrifier 2, I was very like, oh, I gotta work so hard, and I have like I still have them, like my journals and my binders. I'm such a dork, but so it was a lot easier this time around, and it's very easy to work in front of these scene partners. Really, a lot of acting is listening and reacting to what the person's saying, and hopefully you can make them feel something, but they always make me feel something, so it's easy with these guys.
Awesome. Thank you very much. David. Hi, sir. So it's quite clear that Art the Clown has become a modern horror icon. What was your process for developing such a unique, terrifying character, especially without dialogue?
Oh, years of bullying.
Yeah. So you were a bully, huh?
No.
I
Years
know.
of being bullied.
I just flipped it.
No, yeah, that's good. But no, what I did, first of all, like I had seen All Hallows Eve before I even knew about Terrifier existing, and I loved that character, and I was like, oh my God, he's like an evil Mr. Bean, and there's a lot I could do with a character like that, because I grew up watching all the great silent comedians and all that, like Chaplin and Buster Keaton, of course, Mr. Bean, and I love that kind of style acting. I always wanted to play a character like that. So like when the opportunity to play Art came around, I was like, yeah, I have to do this. So I already had that in the back of my brain, like he's like evil Mr. Bean, or like the bastard child of Freddy Krueger and Harpo Marx. Mm-hmm. So I was like, this is great. Fun fact. The actor that played Harpo Marx, his real name was Arthur. I found that out last year, and I'm like, oh my God, that's perfect.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So yeah, I put a lot of that into him because he's a clown, and since he doesn't talk, I was like, well, that will be one of those things that's going to separate him from all the other silent slasher villains that are out there, is the physical comedy that I could bring to him, and it's perfect since he's a clown. So I wanted to put more of that into the character than what Mike Gianelli brought to him when he played him in All Hallows Eve. And thankfully, Damien gave me the freedom to do that. Damien gives me a lot of freedom just to play around in a lot of these scenes, so I have a lot of fun doing that. But of course, I also had that approach to him, but I also took a lot of my love of great villains, especially great horror villains, and put them into Art as well. There's a little bit of every horror icon in Art. I kind of look at him as the ultimate horror fanboy. Okay. So there's bits of Freddy and Jason and Michael and Chucky and Leatherface and Pinhead. All those guys are all mixed inside of him. So, and a little bit of Joker too. So yeah, a
little bit.
Yeah, a little
bit.
Yeah.
You mentioned Rowan Atkinson is one of my favorite physical comedians. So obviously the physicality of Art is crucial to the character. How much, you mentioned that Damien gives you a lot of latitude. How much of his movement and mannerisms are, choreographed versus improvised?
I kind of do both at the same time. I basically, because I read the script and I have a few ideas in my head, but a lot of the times in the script it just says what's going on. The scene doesn't say specifically what I'm going to be doing, so I only know that when I get there in the space, and then I just kind of choreograph a lot of stuff myself. Yeah, I know.
Seagulls are here.
and I like having that freedom just to really experiment, like with the bar scene. That was just a week of us improvising a lot. It was because I'm in this space with these great film and TV actors that have decades of experience doing this. So Damien's like, yeah, I have a script here, but feel free to embellish all you want. And I think Danny Roebuck just went insanely crazy with that script, and it was like, especially when it's just the two of us, when I'm torturing him, he was just making up dialogue on the spot, and he understands the role of the straight man in a comedic scene, and he knows how to throw you the joke, and he was just throwing me so much great material, and I was just able to play off of that, and it was so much fun.
Sweet. So this one's for all of you. What has been the most challenging scene to film for you guys to date? You start with Samantha at the end.
Oh, God. Every scene in Terrifier 3 with the prosthetics. Heather, where are you? Heather did my makeup on Terrifier 3. Hardest scene to date. Man. 3 was, oh God, man, I'm trying to think of the hardest one. Do you guys know? Tell me, what was I complaining the most in? Every single one.
The finale for you, yeah.
Yeah, the finale was super technical, but also is one of my favorite scenes to film because I really enjoyed working with David again, who is phenomenal, and Lauren, who I absolutely adore, who's just, by the way, just, you asked the question about her bringing the experience of Sienna, who is one of my favorite final girls, but displaying the trauma is, she just, no one does it like her, and she gave me so much in that scene. Even when the camera wasn't on her, she was giving the full performance, which just tells you the type of actress that Lauren is. But so that was a lot of fun, but it was also extremely difficult and technical. Yeah, and also we had nails that I had on, if you remember. They were very long, and every time I'd put my hand, there's like a lot of moments in Terrifier 3 in that scene where you see me like stroking people's hair, but I had to be super gentle, or the nails would fall off into people's hair and get stuck. So it was a very complicated scene, but we had a lot of fun.
I've kept them. I still have them.
Do you have some of my nails?
Elliot, how about you? What's been the most challenging scene for you? It doesn't have to be because of prosthetics, maybe even emotionally.
You know, unfortunately, I'm like a very clumsy person. So like all like the simplest stuff that really should not be hard, like walking downstairs or like there was a scene where I have to fall backwards. For some reason, it was hard to me like I don't know how to do that. So just simple stuff like that.
I love that answer. I love that answer. Lauren, how about you?
It's a miracle any film gets done, guys. It's so hard. It truly is. Honestly, I'm remembering in Terrifier 2, Sienna and Jonathan are speaking, and if you've seen it, in his bedroom, and he's showing her the journal. And there was so many sound issues that day. It was such a pain in the ass. That house which we're sure is haunted, there was just like, we had to stop every few seconds, which is hard because you have this emotional momentum, and that was like a scene that kind of grew emotionally. And we were so angry. We're like, are you fucking kidding? Like every time we were getting so mad. But
it had a water pump.
It had a water pump, that
It was
fucking
a
water
water
pump.
pump.
It was such a pain in the ass. It kept like, I'm getting triggered thinking about it. It was so annoying.
It was annoying because you would be like
in the scene talking.
and then you're like,
I'm sure there's BTS of us just like looking miserable. But
There definitely is footage of us looking miserable.
we have a good time, but we always look so miserable on set. But for Terrifier 3, certainly the finale. I mean, thrashing in that chair was like my body hurt for like a week straight. It was a lot, but I got to work with these like wonderful scene partners that really gave me everything. Like, I mean, Dave was behind me a lot of the time because he was like doing shit, and it's hard not to laugh at that. So I was happy I didn't have to look at that. But like Sam's in front of me and she's just killing it. I just was so happy to work with Sam. This was our first time working together. It was amazing. I dream about it.
Our love affair.
Our love affair.
She was really tied down though when she was
was.
in the chair. They tie you down a little bit and then you broke out of it.
I broke the chair. I
Yeah.
broke the chair because I was really thrashing in it, which is fun. I recommend it.
Yeah.
oh yeah. I would say the hardest, most challenging scene for me to work on was in part 1 with Catherine with the hacksaw scene, because that was difficult. What also people don't realize is like we filmed that scene in 3 different locations and different months at a time. We filmed all Jenna's stuff first because she had to go film the Bye Bye Man. And so we filmed all of her stuff in New Jersey, and then we filmed all stuff with Catherine later on in Staten Island. And it was that night, originally we were supposed to film it one night, and there was flooding in the room, so we couldn't film that night, so we had to wait 2 weeks. And we came back, and it was about 20 degrees that night. There was no heat in there, and that was just miserable in itself. But then Catherine's having to, I feel so sorry for Catherine because she's, naked and upside down, covered in blood for hours. And we can only film it 30 seconds at a time because it's so dangerous to put someone upside down. So it was very stressful for those hours we were filming because we're trying to make sure she's okay. And she still ended up having some inner ear problems because of being upside down so much. And that was just stressful. It was very stressful and very cold and miserable, but we got through it. And then the second night I came in for it, I thought it was going to be more fun because I got to cut through the prosthetic, but they the intestines that we're going to use for it was just sausage casings filled up with fat, which is disgusting. And we had them there the 2 weeks before, and because we had to postpone it for those 2 weeks, our DP had taken them home with him and didn't refrigerate them. He just put them in his garage.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So we opened it up, and thank God we weren't running sound that night because you would just heard everybody in there go, huh. Because at one point I even accidentally cut through one of the intestines, and all this stuff just starts spilling out as the smell.
Yeah,
It just like, and see, that's another thing I can't stand is puke. So I'm hearing everybody in there, and Damien remembered that, and so he put puke into part 3, which you've probably heard. There was a scene where I almost puked, and that was it. Was with Aunt Jess because I cannot stand puke. I can deal with blood and guts and all that, but puke, no. And they use this nasty cream of mushroom soup to make the puke in there, and it like projectile vomited on this screen across, and just smelled so bad. The house was really hot and steamy and stinky, and then she comes down with this horrible smelling bag of corn nuts.
Just like a normal bag of corn
Yeah.
nuts. It's not that big of a deal. It wasn't
was
like
just
barbecue or like lime.
Bad. It smelled like death. And she's like right up in my face. Hey, Dave.
So if anyone has corn nuts here, please go to David's table later.
Yeah, because they're all trying to get me to lose it, and they're all laughing because I'm even like, can I get my stunt double or like Steve Delastello to come in and just be my arm in this or something like that? Because Steve would fill in my arm a lot of times when I'm in makeup and stuff like that. I'm like, no, Dave, your face is totally in the shot right now, so we got to have you there. My face is not in the shot at all.
This is how we get back at David.
Yeah, it was gross. I didn't puke though. I was very proud of myself. But oh boy, that was rough.
So your most challenging thing was corn nuts.
Yeah,
Got it.
corn nuts and cream of mushroom soup.
Interestingly, have you ever heard the Guts story? George Romero's Day of the Dead. Same thing happened. They had obviously zombies, so they had guts on set.
Yeah.
But it was very hot where they were shooting, and they spoiled. And all these poor extras who were zombies had to still pull them. And they said that Joe Pilato, who was the main actor in that scene, had said that it was one of the worst days of his life because he had to lay there and they had to cover him in these rotten. Yeah.
Oh, that was
Read
also
about it. It's terrible.
In part 2, when I bash in Brooke's chest and everything, I was having to take out all this stuff, and they had all these different innards and stuff like that, and like different animal body parts, and I'm just like, oh great, and gross, and they're like, okay, time to break for dinner, and I'm like, guys,
Hollywood is so luxurious.
I have like salmonella all over me, and I'm just like, oh god, great time for dinner, guys, thanks.
Let's
do.
pivot to some happier things.
Yeah.
Sorry I brought that up. So Terrifier 3 now holds the record as the highest grossing unrated film of all time. First of all, that's amazing. That's insane. How does that make you guys feel? Anybody can jump in.
I've been going through an existential crisis. No, it's honestly crazy, and I think it just tells you how strong and how committed the horror community is. Especially like these films, there's not much like marketing or anything that gets put into it, so it's all just straight up word of mouth. So I just thank y'all. Thank you, seriously. Love y'all.
You guys helped us beat Beyonce.
It's no small feat.
What
No
the
small
fuck?
That's awesome. With that, why don't we go to some crowd questions, some fan questions? Yes, with the Santa outfit and the.
I still haven't realized that yet.
Yeah.
I feel like I get like 5 seconds every single day where I realize it and I freak out and then it just stops. But I think when Stephen King posted about it, I feel like, holy shit, this is getting out of hand.
Yeah, Damien and I were in line at JFK to get on the airplane when that tweet came out, and I let out a "what the fuck" in the line, and everybody's like whoosh. I'm like, Stephen King, you don't understand. But it's like, even Damien wigged out, which is unusual to see. Damien was like, he almost started crying right there on the spot. It was just like, it's like when it comes from the man that created Pennywise, that's pretty cool, because like Pennywise was definitely a big influence on us too. So it's like that was pretty epic moment. So yeah.
What do we got next? Front row. Yeah, you.
That was fucking wild.
Yeah.
I was like, Kanye West
Kanye.
calling Damien a genius. I didn't think he referred to anyone other than himself as genius. So I was blown away. It was super cool.
There's a lot of mixed feelings there.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. What else we got? Back there,
like,
bald head. I can say that because I have a bald head.
I did not see that coming.
It's not judgy. I have one too. So. Go ahead.
That's a Damien question, because we have no idea what's happening in part 4 yet. He is not telling us anything. Yeah, he's still writing it right now. But that's the thing is, like, in the past films, when he's been writing, he's usually bouncing ideas off of all of us and coming to us and like, I need ideas and blah, blah, what do you think? He's been completely silent this whole entire time. And so I'm like, oh my God, what has he got in store for us? So, yeah. Yeah. So who knows?
I hope so.
Yeah, maybe the next one's gonna be like La La Land. I don't know.
Oh my God.
No, like
Have a
Joker
dance
too.
routine together.
It's gonna be a musical.
Long hair,
musical.
glasses. You. They can't answer that, bro.
I don't know.
They
None
probably
of
don't
us
even
know
frankly.
What
anything.
do y'all think?
What do you guys
Oh.
think?
No?
Okay, everybody says no, clap. Okay.
My
Everybody
inner
says
John-
yes. Go, yeah!
Oh no, it's
Oh,
like,
wow. Okay.
It's pretty sweet.
My
Okay.
inner
Should've done a
Jonathan
hand
spirit
raise.
says thank you.
Wow. It's going to be like a Joel moment.
Oh,
Pre-show.
yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, too soon?
Too soon.
Someone didn't play the games.
Go ahead.
You said what's our favorite kill scene? And that's all of us? I mean, I'm talking. I'll go first. I like when the child dies in the third one.
yes, you do.
I like it. Okay, guys.
Yes,
She's
she
gonna
does.
she will
Chill.
clarify.
Wait, which
To
child?
clarify, Lauren.
All of them.
children.
No.
Fuck them kids.
I like the very first kill of the third because it's
Yeah.
the antithesis of the Terrifier franchise. You only hear it. And I just like seeing children get killed.
She's going to be a great mom.
That's not even a joke. It's not a joke. I'll go right after because I'll second. One of my favorite scenes or sequences is the whole opening to 3. And I think that the whole, from the direction to the acting, Chrissy Fox is unbelievable. From not even hearing it, not seeing it, it's just like Damon just showed us that he can do anything. And that's like the perfect setup for, I think, one of the best movies. So.
For me, I'm sorry, David. It has to be the rat scene. That one. I mean, I was eating popcorn when I was first watching that, and I deeply regretted it. It was the first time where I actually felt like a little dizzy. It's like I think I need to put this down. I have bad OCD, so I cannot imagine like rats crawling in your neck. No.
You know, that was inspired from a medieval torture method where they used to put a rat on someone's stomach and they put like an iron bowl over it and heat it so that rat has to find its way through and it would burrow through the person's stomach.
Why?
Because it was trying to escape the heat. Yeah, that's where Damien came up with that idea. So I was like, yeah. So that was a gross one. My favorite, though, was, I thought it was a fun one. It was Santa Claus's death. I just had so much fun doing that one because I felt like a Batman villain, and I just love that idea of turning someone into a human snowman. And we were actually going to go further. We just literally ran out of time that night. Because you get the carrot in the nose, but I was also going to have 2 things of coal, and I was going to light them on fire and shove them into his eyeballs.
Yes.
But we just ran out of time, unfortunately. It's like, man, I still wish we could do that part of it because I love that idea.
I love how Art looks in that scene.
Oh,
like
it's
I
so
always
fun.
tell Damien, like, because like the light on him with the white hair, like Art looks like a different monster in that scene. It's one of my favorite Dave Art moments because like just with there's like tinsel behind you and like it just looks. It's honestly beautiful. Like it looks really pretty. And yeah, he's just like a whole different monster there. It's really cool.
I had so much fun. That was my favorite scene to film in the whole entire series so far. So I just had a blast. So.
What do we got? Go ahead.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's I don't know. It's incredible. Even having the title, it's not something I would have ever thought that it would happen. I mean, I got this role thinking it was going to be a family drama. I had no idea that it was going to be what it is. Like, because when I auditioned for Terrifier 2, I didn't get the whole script. I got this like 2 scenes with Jonathan and then her mother, Barb. So I'm like, oh, okay, it was just their family going through some shit, and I didn't realize what it was. So I'm just grateful. I feel like I just kind of fell into it, and I love horror so much. It's my favorite genre. I can watch it throughout the year. I don't need to be in the mood because I'm always in the mood for it. So I'm very influenced by horror heroines, and they've inspired me so much. So I could talk about this forever. I don't have a real answer. My real answer is I'm grateful, and I hope to continue to work in this genre, and I hope people continue to receive me. Is my answer.
Question. With the paw. I just, yeah, you got paw, so.
In the first film, when you see me crash that bicycle, that was real. That was totally real. I was like, I was constantly falling off the bicycle. That was a very giddy night. Sam was there just watching that night.
I was filming you.
Yeah, it was hysterical. We were all just laughing our butts off that night. So I think it's also because we were going off with no sleep after several days of shooting.
That might have been like the best fun night we had because we had so much time on our hand, and you just got on the bicycle and started singing. What did you sing?
Yeah.
What were you singing? What were the words?
I was singing the bicycle race from Queen.
Yeah.
As Herbert the pervert from Family Guy. Says, I want to ride my bicycle.
Exactly.
It was a very silly night, but yeah, there's a lot of little happy accidents that make it into the film, like me flicking her off. That was another one. I was just joking around, and they're like, that made the crew laugh. They're like, oh, we got to put that in there. And it's like, but I mean, there have been things that we've just added in the moment, like me slapping her in the back of the head.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was Damien there. He's like, guys, this scene is getting way too morbid and serious. We need something to break up the morbidity of it all, or whatever you want to call it. And he's like, why don't you just slap her in the head every time you go by? And I was like, oh, great. Literal slapstick comedy. This is great. And I felt so sorry for her because we had to do that so many times. And I'm like, I'm sorry, because I know she was already in so much pain, and I'm like, I am sorry. And then one time I accidentally hit the chair instead of her head, and I'm like, oh God, that hurt. That definitely hurt. So that was fun. I was like, this is pain. I usually get my comeuppance somehow in all this, somehow on set. Like in part 2, I got to feel what it was like to get hit by the flail that I got everybody else with. All 3 of them have felt that thing, so I finally got to feel it. And when she used it on me, at one take, I leaned too far forward. It was all my fault, and she got me right in the mouth with it. I'm like, ooh, it felt like a bee sting. I'm like, oh, this is what you guys have been feeling this whole entire time when I've been whipping you with this thing? I am so sorry. So we have a lot of fun, I guess you could say.
But I think one of the most iconic things was the original ending of Terrifier 2, and I think this is like people know this. Art is supposed to was supposed to grow out of the back of Sam's head, of Victoria's head. But this was around the same time that a very little known film came out called Malignant. And I remember Damien told me about it. Someone texted Damien and was like, "Have you seen Malignant yet?" And he was like, "No, why?" And he was like, "You got to watch it." And so we had to change the ending. And it was actually Olga's idea, who was our wonderful costume designer. She also does set design. She was like, "Oh, it'd be funny if, like, she gives birth to his head." And that's how it got in. And that was a happy accident because it wasn't originally in the script. So there's a lot of problem solving in film in general. So it's always exciting to see those problems getting fixed in really interesting ways.
Yeah, that totally changed the whole trajectory that we're going to go for Terrifier 3.
Well, Vicky would be dead.
Yeah, you were going to be dead at the beginning of the movie, and it totally changed everything. So it was one of those moments like when it first happened, we're all like, "Damn you, James Wan." And then we're like, "Oh, wait, no, thank you, James Wan," because we had filmed the whole entire thing with the head.
It wasn't even edited, though, which is the crazy thing. So it was like a real pure coincidence that movie was... Damien's like, it's literally identical to what we shot.
Yeah.
Which is very strange. It's like a weird...
Yeah, almost like shot by shot. It was like, wow. But it worked out great for us, so yay.
Let's do a couple more. You with the sheer sleeve. That's the best thing I can come up with.
Oh, did the brother and sister role fall into place naturally? I mean, look at us.
She's my big sis.
It's funny because when we auditioned together, we had the chemistry read, and that was my final audition. Justin was there, Elliot's dad, and he was like, "You guys look like siblings. Like, you guys just look like each other." And we do. We look like we can be related, and we often joke that we were related in a previous life. And I mean, I love his family. Like, they are my family now. So, yes, to answer your question. That's his dad in the back. He's such a dork. Look at him.
What a nerd.
Well, that's the same thing.
What a loser.
But Antonella is Gabby in part 3. It's like you two bonded so well as well. And she that's the thing I gotta say about the casting of these films. Like, Damien's done such a great job casting the family members because they actually look like they're related. And then you guys all bond so well together. You actually act like family members on set. It's really cool thing to see.
Fun fact, on my final audition, she was already cast, but we were doing the reading. She was already treating me like a big sister. So like they would surprise me with more lines and more like different scenes that I didn't know because they didn't send them to me. And she was like, "Yeah, let's actually just go. We'll go over them real quick." So she's been the big sis since the beginning.
Aw.
I got diabetes.
Let's do one more from the crowd. This woman here in the end.
Don't give up. You have to bring a part of yourself to the role in whatever audition that you're doing, because one of my biggest things, like let's say Breaking Bad, for example, if Aaron Paul was playing Walter White, it'd be a very different character. So if you want to bring something unique to the table, the most unique thing is yourself. But also just staying consistent. And also one of the best advices I've ever been given was from Lauren. She said, acting is reacting. I think she even said that earlier. So just as long as you love the journey and love the art of it and just stay consistent with it, something will happen at some point. Wish you luck with it.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. Get into a class. I take classes every week. I'm going to be studying Strasberg in New York in a few weeks because I love method acting. I think it's beautiful. And you never stop learning. Don't let people tell you you can't do it. Fuck those people. They don't know. Only you know. And like Elliot said, don't try to do what you think when you get into the process other people want. Like if the casting director writes this, be yourself. You have to bring yourself to the character. We contain multitudes. There's so much inside of us, and we can bring our own interpretation of things, have opinions, make sure they're strong opinions and make specific choices. And this will all make sense once you start it. But you can do it. Just don't give up. We need more artists, so don't stop.
I want to piggyback off of that too. Is just keep learning. There's always something more to learn. I learn something from every actor I share space with. There's always something I'm putting my little Rolodex in the back of my head. I'm like, oh, I like what they did there. I like what they did there, you know. But also just be persistent, because even the greatest actors in the world have been told no many times. Like for every one yes, I've had about 100 no's at auditions, and it's just I was struggling for 13 years waiting tables and doing side acting jobs until Terrifier came along, and you just got to keep going and going and going and going and going, and especially if you love doing it. And that's the most important thing is if you love doing it, then keep doing it. And just have fun. That's another thing I always want to point out to people. Is when you go into an audition, because I know a lot of people get nervous when you go into an audition. It's if you go in there with the idea that you're just going there to have fun, you'll lose a lot of those inhibitions, and you'll just have fun, and you'll kick butt. And that's because I discovered that about myself when I was going into some auditions, just so focused on nervous about what I was doing, I would not do as well. But if I just went in there with a nonchalant attitude, I'm like, I'm just here to have fun, so we'll see what happens. That's when I would book those jobs, because it just reads to the I would say the audition committee that they can tell when it's just natural, because I think when you're having fun, you're just more natural that way.
And they have fun.
That's great.
And they have fun, yeah.
I'll piggyback off of David, because I always say, with acting you gotta love it, and it's one of the most beautiful vocations. I feel like my life has been saved through acting. I've learned about myself, I've grown, but love it and then do it, because people will tell you it's hard, and it is, and it takes endurance, it takes time, but life is hard. Every industry's hard, everything is hard, so you might as well go at the thing you love that you're passionate about, and just keep persevering.
Thank you guys so much. So we're going to get these guys back to their table, because I'm sure there's some of you who still need some autographs, some pictures. But I am going to ask them one final question, which I love to ask of every guest that I do a panel with, and it's a question that's important to me, because I just always love to know this answer. I need to know all 4 of your favorite non-Terrifier horror films.
Oh.
Starting with Samantha.
Of course, always. I was going to piggyback off them. I consider the original The Vanishing
It's a great movie.
a horror film.
Yeah.
I think that fucking movie, that messed me up. That's one of them right now off the top of my head. Someone told me that Silence of the Lambs is technically a horror film. I don't know if that's true, but I'm going to say that too, because that's a perfect movie. Oh, God. I love The Thing. I just watched that recently. It was so fucking good.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm just gonna scream anything out. I love Rosemary's Baby. John Cassavetes is in it. He's a god to me. So, for now, that's my.
All great films. Thank you, Elliot.
I would say my #1 favorite horror film of all time, and it's the same as my girlfriend Josie's. It was actually one of the very first things we ever talked about and connected over. But just kind of funny how something so horrifying can make love. Is the original Texas Chainsaw.
There you
I
go.
think, yeah,
Oh, boy.
all right. I think it's just one of those films where it just sucks you in, and the fact it was made so long ago, and it, in my opinion, still holds up, and it still can be scary. I think it's just a really important film.
It feels real, right?
Yes,
That's the thing
yes.
about Texas Chainsaw, is it looks like you're watching like a snuff film. Like this just is uncomfortable. And made in 1974 and still holds up.
It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Lauren.
It really depends on my mood. It depends on the day. I really love every Evil Dead movie. I'd say the 2013 one is my favorite. I think Mia holds a special place in my heart as a final girl, and the baddie. Like, she played the goodie and the baddie, and I just thought she was incredible. And I've told her that myself multiple times. I probably looked like a crazy person. But I also love The Shining. I mean, you can't I watch it like multiple times a year. It's just too good. And Black Christmas, which I watched for the first time a few months ago because I had the idiotic notion like, oh, it came out in the 70s. It's not scary. Oh. Boy, was I wrong.
So good.
What an idiot. It was so good.
It's the original
I love
slasher
it.
film.
It's so,
Kicked off the genre.
Incredible.
And made by Bob Clark, who also did the Christmas Story with Ralphie. And
did you know that the Christmas tree salesman is also in it?
I did not.
He was the phone guy.
Oh my God.
He was the
that's
Christmas
amazing.
tree salesman, and I was like, why does that guy look familiar? And I went on his IMDb. I was like, oh my, and that's how I realized I connected the dots. It's the same freaking guy.
That's fantastic.
Cool.
I love to learn.
I know. Yeah.
Thankful I'm here today.
Yay.
David?
I have several too, but like one of my favorites is also Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I just think this is fantastic. I'm like, oh, it's so good. But I'm like, the original Halloween's a huge one for me. Exorcist as well. I love Scream too. I think Scream is just like a perfect film. And Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 Dream Warriors, I think is just so good. I feel that's really where Freddy found his footing. It's like, this is who Freddy really is. I was like, that was such a fun film. But also, I recently saw Sinners. So if you have not seen Sinners yet, go see it. It's fantastic.
I hear great things.
I was like, but this has actually been a very good year already for horror films. I've seen so many, like, Companion and The Monkey and Hard Eyes. They've all been fun
We're
films.
living in a very blessed age for horror.
And I think in a lot of ways people have discovered, oh yeah, you can make horror films fun again. It doesn't have to be just super serious. You can actually go in there and make people laugh and scare them at the same time.
Sometimes it makes the scary parts scarier.
It does.
When you have to laugh.
So I'm very excited to see, because there's so many other movies coming out this year I'm excited to see. So I'm just like, oh, this is a good year for horror.
Yep.
So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, guys, how about a round of applause for these guys? Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank
They're
you.
going to head back to their tables, so if you guys want to go back.